first of all, I want to thank you, Wura, for putting up this bootcamp.
Thank you, Coach Wura. You are a blessing to us in this bootcamp and to your generation at large.
Coach, you are amazing. I love your teaching. I love how you are genuinely teaching us and you genuinely want us all to be successful and to start right.
Thank you, Coach Wura.
And thank you, Coach Wura, for investing in the next crop of fashion entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
And so you're a fantastic teacher, being able to break down to the nitty-gritty in the simplest of ways that even a baby would understand and be able to implement.
I have never had so much thinking about my business. Like, my eyes are just opening every day to new things.
And I'm really grateful for this platform because it has made me to realize that in order to be successful, you have to build systems.
It has really been an eye-opening journey for me. I finally understood the power of having clear standard operating procedures for my business.
I have never seen a more consistent person in my life. The kind of way you inspire us, even we are ashamed to give excuses in the bootcamp. So for me, Wura is a real deal. Go and check her out.
Thank you so much, PFA.
I'm really proud to, call you my coach.
Thank you, Coach Wura.
God bless you.
Two designers, same talent, both hired staff, but one says, my team gets it. I'm loving my team. I'm enjoying this ready-to-wear journey. And one says, I am tired. These people are wearing me out. Let's find out why. My name is Wura Olaobaka, and I am called your one and only profitable fashion coach, because if your business is not making money, why are you even in business? I am the only one who is obsessively, compulsively interested in making sure your fashion business is profitable. Let's go beyond the seams and get into the numbers. So that's what we do in our Fashion Fix Daily Life series. So if you're here and you can see me and you can hear me, drop a comment in the comment section. Say, I'm here, I can see you, I can hear you. Like, subscribe, stay here. You want to stay here because this is a place of growth. And of course, share this link with your fellow fashion entrepreneurs, anybody in the industry who you know needs to hear what is being said here. You want to share this link. So today we are looking at a tale of two designers. We are looking at a tale of two designers, and one is really good with what they do. In fact, they're both good with what they do, but one is making money and one is stuck. And we want to find out why. Why does one make money and the other stuck? So let's move on. Many times when we look at these two scenarios, we realize that the problem is not talent. Like I've said, both designers in this scenario are talented. The difference between making money and staying stuck lies in clarity. Clarity. Because guess what? Confusion at the top becomes chaos in the dream. Put that in the comment section. Confusion at the top becomes chaos in the team. So, what are we going to be exploring tonight? We're going to be exploring how this chaos can be averted. Things you can do to move you from being that designer who is not making money to that designer who is making money, despite the fact that you actually already have a team, right? Okay, let's start with the problem. I remember when I first started hiring. So this was how it went for me. I started sewing, and then I got a job, and then I said, okay, you know what? I need to get tailors to help me to be sewing so that I can do my job and all that. So I hired my first tailor. I brought him in. I'll just give him things. I said, okay, so this design, I'll sketch something. I'll give it to him to sew. And then when I come in, he hasn't done it well, and I'm upset. I'm angry. I'm like, but I told you to do it like this. Why did you not do it like this? Why did you, So there was always that back and forth between me and my tailors, getting things right, not getting things right. Sometimes they use the wrong seams, sometimes they use the wrong seam allowances, sometimes they use the wrong colors and all that. And I never really paid too much attention to this. At that time, I was even a bespoke dressmaker. So somehow you would always wing it, you would always fix it, the outfit will come out nice. You would solve the problem and then you move on to the next one, right? And that cycle continued until around 2019 when I transitioned to bespoke, to ready to wear from bespoke. And then I realized that this ready to wear game is different too. You can't, like, if I had to do those same things I was doing with my team, it wouldn't have been possible to scale because you are batch producing 20 dresses. Do you want to make a mistake? No. If you make a mistake, that money has gone. Fiam, nobody is buying it because you're not going to sell a defective stock. Or if you have to sell it, you're going to say, okay, let me reduce the prices. So that is your profit going into discounts. So I had to get it right. So what did I do? I sat down and I said, I needed to create a system where I could allocate roles, responsibilities, and reporting lines. So, who owns what role? For instance, who owns production timelines? Who owns quality control? Who owns inventory, reconciling the stock? What goes in, what comes out, what is being used to sew, what is remaining? Who owns content posting? And when you are starting out with a small team, sometimes you think that, it's not necessary to define these roles. And one person is probably doing everything, and then you're also doing some heavy lifting. But if you don't do that from a small team, as the team keeps getting bigger, you realize that your problems are just multiplying instead of your headache being solved. So if you are asking something like, who is the person who supervised this cutting? Why is this thing like this? And the answer is nobody. Or the answer is, Madam, now us, now we. If you have a nobody answer or a we answer, then that's the problem. When we were younger, we used to have this poem that used to be, I don't know, I think if you Google that poem, you find it. They call him Mr. Nobody. So it said how the plate will be broken, the glass will be shattered, things will be, but when mommy asks, everybody says is Mr. Nobody. So Mr. Nobody was the one who did everything. So if the answer to who is the person that has not done this quality control, who is responsible for it? Why is there no content on the page? Who is responsible for it? If the answer is Mr. Nobody, that is where your problem is coming from. So let's see how we can fix that by the end of this slide. If everybody is accountable, if everybody is responsible, then no one is accountable. Did you get that? If everybody is responsible, then no one is accountable. And that's a dangerous place to be. Because this is what happens when you have no clarity of roles. So there's no clear role of who does what. Number one, work overlaps. So maybe you have someone who is a cleaner and another person who is a runner. So the cleaner is supposed to come in, tidy the store, make sure everything is arranged in a nice way all the time. And then the runner takes care of simple logistics, going to the market to pick up things, taking things to the logistics company for dispatch. Maybe if you need to deliver something to a customer personally, the runner does it. So anything that has to do with small errands, the runner does it. But somehow, because they are all low-level staff, their jobs may intersect. Now, because you don't have it spelled out that this is what the cleaner does and this is what the runner does, or maybe you even have two roles in one at the beginning, you are in a situation where this person is doing cleaning, this person is doing running, so everybody is doing everything. So nothing gets done. So when you come and then the floor is not cleaned, or the trim that was supposed to bought from the market has not been bought, you're asking, and both of them are like, oh, I thought this person will buy it. Oh, I thought this person will buy it. So there's nobody that you can hold and say, why is this thing not done? And that's the dangerous place to be, really. So this is what happens when you don't have role clarity. You have overlapping work. So different people are doing different things. So what is going to happen is that tasks are going to drop. There'll be things that are not done. There'll be things that should be done by one person that are not done because there's no clarity. There'll be assumptions. Oh, madam, I thought that this person would do it. I thought Funke will do it. Oh, I thought BC will do it. And madam, it's not me. BC said she was going to do it. Why? Because there's no role clarity. You did not create an SOP, and that SOP doesn't have an owner. So there's nobody that says, this is the cleaning SOP, this is a checklist accompanying the SOP, and this is the SOP owner. There's no owner. So people just assume. So you find yourself constantly chasing people to deliver, because if they don't deliver, you don't even know who to catch. So you're just constantly in repair mode instead of being in strategic thinking mode. So if you ever ask the question, what have you done today? That question in itself is a proof that there's a system failure somewhere in the line. That question, what have you done today? Well, what did people do today? Why is it? That's a system failure. And I know, every time I come on this live, I say, I don't come here from a place of perfection. I come here from a place of learning, because guess what? These trenches I have been in, I'm even still in there. There are a lot of things I still learn. There are a lot of things I'm still growing on. So I know exactly what I'm saying. And here is the real cost. Here is the real cost of that lack of accountability that you have created because you haven't defined the rules. You're going to lose time. So let's say someone was supposed to be in charge of quality, and that outfit went out. Or let's say it didn't even go out of the store. Maybe it came out of production, right? So like at Wura, we have two levels of quality. We have quality control in production. We have quality control before it goes out. So now, let's say production quality control does not catch the quality control inside production catches the error before it happens. So he's supposed to prevent the errors from happening in the first place. So he's checking after the patterning is done to be sure that it's properly done. He's checking after it's cut on the toe. He's checking. So the whole essence is that they don't finish the garment and then it comes out and they're like, oh, this thing should this pattern cut it well. You missed 1 inch or whatever. So we check that as production is going on. Now let's assume production quality control does not do its job, and the outfit, the garment is done and it is out of production. So it is going to final quality control before it goes sales line. What happens? It has to go back. They have to undo that garment. They have to start it again from the beginning. And what will happen? We have lost time. So even if you say, okay, there's a penalty attached to that, that penalty will not bring that time back. It won't. Someone will lose money, but that time is gone. So if you were supposed to have 3 outfits coming out of that particular tailor that day, you can't get 3. You probably get 1, because before he undoes and redoes that thing back, the time for 2 garments is gone. So if you don't know who is the owner of that role and you cannot hold that person accountable, you are losing time. You lose morale. If you are a fashion founder who knows technical skills, you know that there is nothing quite as disconcerting as having to undo a dress. Like, you know how you're just sewing and everything is just moving, fiam, 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 fiam. They just fit it and you have to undo it. That thing can kill morale. That day, your whole day is spoiled. You don't want to even go and finish up what you have to do. So if you don't have roles and reporting lines, you lose morale. Or imagine that your runner goes to the market. They do not have clarity of what they were supposed to do. They didn't have a checklist. When you go and you're trying to match fabric, this is how you go about the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So they come back with the wrong thing. You say, this is wrong. They have to go back again. Maybe they do that again 2 times or 3 times in a day. Can you imagine how that person will feel disillusioned by the time they are going home? So you lose time, you lose the morale of your staff, you lose trust because your staff, for every time that your staff has to fix a mistake, it erodes their confidence more. I hope you know that. Yes. For every time that your staff has to fix a mistake, or you have to talk to your staff, or you have to reprimand, caution, it erodes their confidence more. So you are losing that trust, and they are losing that trust. It erodes both their confidence and your confidence. But you're like, this person is not even getting it. I don't even think this person can do this job well. So it's eroding both the confidence of you and the confidence of your staff. What else do you lose? You lose profits, because time is money. We know there's an Africa, I've even forgotten the person who sang it. Time na money, time na money. Use your time well. Yes, because time is money. So for every time that something that was supposed to be assigned to someone is not assigned, and because of that, you have to start fixing errors, you have lost money. You have lost money. Your profit has gone. So when roles are unclear, you have staff waiting, you have you being the bottleneck, you're deciding everything. Unclear roles create invisible work. That's what it does. So what's a simple fix we can do to this? What's a simple fix? Every role that you create, every role must answer 3 questions. Number 1, what do I own? So let's say you have a role for a production lead. It must answer 3 questions. What is this production lead ownership? What's the ownership? What does it own in that role? Okay, my role is to ensure that items come out of production 95% excellence. So you are defining what role he has. The second thing that every role must answer is, what does done look like? So in that example, I said that everything that comes out of production, you must have 95% excellence in your deliverables. So let's say if 100 things come out of production, 95% of them must be excellent, right? So he knows that if at the end of the day, let's say you have 3 tailors and each tailor is supposed to deliver 2 items, that's 6 items. If 6 items come out of production and 5 are not excellent, he has not done his job. Do we see the way it works? If 6 come out of production and 5 are not excellent, the production manager has not done his job. So every role you create must say, what do I own? What is the ownership of that person? Number 2, what does done look like? Number 3, it must say, who do I report to? So if it's the production manager, for instance, he will be reporting to the CEO in the organogram. If it's the tailor, he'll be reporting to the production lead. And depending on, how many levels you have. So each role you create must answer, what do I own? What am I supposed to do in this my role? Number 2, what does done look like? What should things look like when I have done my part in executing this role? And number 3, who do I report to? Who do I say, this is what I've done today, this is what I've not done, these are the challenges I'm having, these are my wins. The third thing that you want to do is you now want to go ahead and answer the question, does your team get the brand? Sometimes I have mentees, this even started from me. Everything starts from me. I used to say, these people that I employ don't get me. They don't even get what Wura is about. They don't get what the brand is about. They don't get what we're trying to achieve. Until one day, as I was searching the scripture, God told me that your vision is yours. I was the one who received the vision of Wura. Nobody else received it with me. So it is yours to communicate. Communication of vision is the job of the founder. That's your job. So if your team is not getting it, it's because you are not communicating it with clarity. So you need to go back and do your job again. I always tell the story of how Moses went to Egypt and sold freedom to Israelites who had been in captivity. Most of them had never been free in their whole lives. And yet, 300,000 plus Israelites got up and followed him. That was the power of a communication of vision. So if your team is not getting up to follow you, you need to look inwards and say, what can I do to make sure that I'm communicating this vision with better clarity? Sometimes it's actually about them not understanding where you're going, them not understanding what you're doing. Because let's be honest, if you don't define the mood of your brand, this is who we are, this is what we stand for. When people come into Wura, this is what I want them to feel. This is how the ambience should be. This is how we talk to our customers. These are the things we say. This is the live run script of when we are dealing with customers. This is how we respond to customer complaints. This is how we deal with issues of exchanges and refunds. If your team does not know your mood, if it does not know the adjective you use, if it does not understand the general vibe of the brand, then it cannot actually communicate it effectively. So it is our jobs as fashion founders to be able to continuously communicate with clarity. We must sell it until they buy it, because your team are the first people to buy the vision that you have. If your team cannot buy the vision, you can't sell it to your customer. It has to start in, they say it now, charity begins at home. It must begin at home. It must begin at home. So your team should understand the entire ethos of your brand. What language is allowed? What fabrics are allowed? What silhouettes? What does your ideal customer stand for? What do we think about when we are designing? What don't we design? What type of designs are not allowed in this brand? What type of dressing is not even allowed? Because you know that even your brand should even be reflected in how your team dresses. When customers come into your store, they need to be able to feel the essence of your brand. So you can't be a modest wear brand and then your team are dressing psychedelic to work. I used to have that problem too, So your team needs to understand the vision, the full picture. You need to paint the picture with clarity. What type of finish do you use? What kind of finish is unacceptable? How much, like with my team, I always say, feel this thing. There's part of our SOP that if you put a fabric on the skin and it doesn't feel like the customer can sleep in it, it doesn't leave the store. A dress must even feel more comfortable than it looks. That's the Wura promise. So even if you see something that has sequins or whatever, we make sure that the inner part of that garment is so comfortable. Because I always say Wura pieces are the pieces that you reach for when you go into your wardrobe. You know how when you go into the wardrobe and you're searching for a dress, you never think of how the dress looks. That's not the first thing you think about. You think of how the dress makes you feel. You're like, today is a hot day. I want something that is warm. I don't want something that will make me feel hot. I want something that is breathable. Oh, I'm going for an evening party. I want to sparkle. I want to shine. Oh, I don't want anything that will be itching me. So, because I know that the Wura woman is conscious of all these things, I communicate those things to my brand. So everybody at Wura knows we don't put itchy things on customer bodies. That's what we say. So as part of the SOPs, they know that part of quality is actually seeing the feel of the fabric. And you do that even before you start, sewing, so that you know what kind of lining, interfacing, and finishing you need to use to ensure that that garment gives that brand promise. So again, we're coming back to communicating with clarity what your brand stands for. So for instance, you see some brands that say luxury brand. A friend of mine ordered something some time ago from a luxury brand. And when this thing came, it came in a nylon bag, like a shoo nylon bag, like these nylon bags that used to make noise. And then they now wrapped it with sellotape. And then when I took out this dress, I looked at it, I looked at the inside of the garment. I was like, these people are kidding me. Are you freaking kidding me? What is going on here? but it said luxury. So you can have those type of things because you have called yourself a luxury brand, but you have not defined what luxury is. You did not write down any finishing standards. These are the kind of finishings we do. This is how our garment should look. This is not acceptable here. You don't have any approved list of fabrics that you use. You don't have any approved modes of delivery. You don't have any, there's no standard defined. You don't know, like for instance, that bag I'm talking about. Let's even say that, okay, it was someone new to the brand who came in and did not know. That person should know. As you are onboarding with an SOP. In my brand, we call that brand the brand quality and execution SOP. You're onboarding with that SOP so that you say, when things are going out, this is how they go out. You don't leave anything to chance. So, if you're that designer who you are saying luxury, but you are saying luxury without defined standards, then you need to go back to the drawing board. Now, look on the flip side to another designer that has quality control rules written out for every piece, has design boundaries for every piece. This is how we design. This is how we don't design. This is what we do. Vision will inspire, but if you don't have documentation, it won't protect. So it is not enough to have a vision. That vision is communicated through the things that you document. Vision without documentation will fail because that vision is going to be in your head. It won't be anywhere that anybody can pick up and run with. And our job as founders is to have reading out documents that when people come into our brand, they have something to look at to say, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, and this is how I'm supposed to do it. So, where do we go from here? If you want a structured team, this is how you should be thinking. You are looking at a team that nobody is waiting for the founder. Everybody knows their key performance indicator. They know what doing that role, executing that role properly entails. Reporting lines are clear. They know if I have a problem, this is who I meet. And if this person doesn't solve it, this is who I meet. How do they escalate problems? You need to have that clearly written. Quality is measured objectively. You have a standard that is written down. For our chiffon dresses, this is how it's finished. Jacquard dresses, this is how it's finished. Satin, this is how we finish. So that nobody is confused. Everything follows a rule, follows a documentation, so that the founder is no longer the reminder system. The system is the reminder system. That's what we're trying to create. So, how do we solve this problem for you? Now, you've heard me talk about SOPs through the course of this life. Now, in the Fashionpreneur SOP Vault, which we are creating, we are SOP 2 there is an SOP that removes confusion. It is the role, clarity, and execution SOP. So it removes confusion from you. It makes you know exactly what the person that you are hiring is going to do. You are defining roles. So that SOP will be done for you, and it will teach you how to define roles clearly. The next one is the vision translation SOP. That's all those things that you have in your head. How do we get it into paper? How do we make it in such a way that other people can see it and run with it? That is that vision SOP. So you cannot scale talent. You can only scale clarity. It is what is clear that is easy for others to run with. And this is one of the key things that we teach in the PFA Ready to Wear Bootcamp. Today in the bootcamp, we actually entered week 3, and incidentally, week 3 is SOP week. So we are also learning SOPs in the bootcamp. And in the bootcamp, we go in depth to teach you how to actually create these SOPs yourself. But because we have a lot of people who say, we want templates, we want done for you templates that we can plug and play. That is why at the PFA, we have gone ahead to now start standardizing these templates, and they'll be out very soon. So you want to actually watch out for that. And if you actually would want to join the wait list, then you need to send a comment and say SOP Vault, and we will reach out to you. So you can either drop that in the comment section or drop it in the number that is appearing on the comments now. Remember, team building is going to help you scale, but it's only going to help you scale if you build that team with clarity. So yes, two designers can have the same talents, they can have the same access, they can be in the same environment, but they can even have the same number of people on their team. But one can be pushing that team with clarity and achieve greater results while one stays stuck. If you want to build a functioning team, one that has defined roles and one that has translated vision into roles, then the PFA Fashionpreneur SOV Vault is a must-have for you. And if you want deeper execution, that's actually why we have the PFA Ready to Wear Bootcamp. We're currently in one cohort, and the next cohort starts very soon. So we are now we're taking you can book a slot. You can book a slot for the next cohort of the PFA Ready to Wear Bootcamp. And if you look at the banner on the screen, how to book a slot is actually there. So you can book a slot by sending a number, a message to the number of the screen saying book a slot, and we will reach out to you to tell you how you can book a slot. Finally, if you want to grow, you need to define first and then delegate. Define first and then delegate. If you do not take anything out of this life, remember that the difference between scaling and not scaling, especially when you've already hired a team, is role clarity, role definition before delegation. So define first and then delegate. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Fashionpreneurs Daily Fix. We will see you tomorrow with another interesting episode. I want to see what you learned in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. To every fashionpreneur who you know, they need to hear these things. We need to constantly have these conversations so that we can move from skill building to wealth building. This is the Profitable Fashionpreneur Academy, where we teach fashion entrepreneurs how to start, scale, and transition to ready to wear with confidence and clarity. We teach profitable fashionpreneurs how to run scalable, profitable, ready to wear brands that can outlive them. If that is you, then you are in the right place, and you need to make sure you are subscribed. My name is Rura Olaobaka. I am called your profitable fashion coach because I am the only one who is obsessed about your profits. I'll see you tomorrow on another episode. Have a nice evening, Profitpreneurs. I'll see you tomorrow.
First of all, I want to thank you, Wura, for putting up this bootcamp.
Thank you, Coach Wura. You are a blessing to us in this bootcamp and to your generation at large.
Coach, you are amazing. I love your teaching. I love how you are genuinely teaching us, and you genuinely want us all to be successful and to start right.
Thank you, Coach Wura.
And thank you, Coach Wura, for investing in the next crop of fashion entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
And so you're a fantastic teacher, being able to break down to the nitty-gritty in the simplest of ways that even a baby would understand and be able to implement.
I have never had so much thinking about my business. Like, my eyes are just opening every day to new things.
And I'm really grateful for this platform, because it has made me to realize that in order to be successful, you have to build systems.
It has really been an eye-opening journey for me. I finally understood the power of having clear standard operating procedures for my business.
I have never seen a more consistent person in my life. The kind of way you inspire us, people are ashamed to give excuses in the bootcamp. So for me, Wura is a real deal. Go and check her out.
Thank you so much, PFA.
I'm really proud to, call you my coach.
Thank you, Coach Wura.
God bless you.